If you have lived just a bodily life and you have never known anything beyond the body, death is going to be very, very ugly, unpleasant, painful. Death is going to be an anguish. But if you have lived a little higher than the body, if you have loved music and poetry, and you have loved, and you have looked at the flowers and the stars, and something of the non-physical has entered into your consciousness, death will not be so bad. Death will not be so painful. You can take it with equanimity, but still it cannot be a celebration. If you have lived something of the transcendental in yourself, if you have entered your own nothingness at the center of your being, where you are no longer a body and no longer a mind, where physical pleasures are completely left far away, and mental pleasures also, the pleasures of music and poetry and literature and painting, then death is going to be a great celebration, a great understanding, a great revelation. Everything is left far away. You are simply just pure awareness, consciousness. If you have known anything of the transcendental in you, death will reveal to you the transcendental in the universe. Then death is no more a death, but a meeting with existence, a date with existence. So you can find 3 expressions about death in the history of human mind. One expression is of the ordinary man who lives attached to his body, who has never known anything greater than the pleasure of food or sex, whose whole life has been nothing but food and sex, who has enjoyed food, has enjoyed sex, whose life has been very primitive, whose life has been very gross, who has lived in the porch of his palace, never entered it, and who had been thinking that this is all life is. Then, at the moment of death, he will try to cling. He will resist death. He will fight death. Death will come as the enemy. Hence, all over the world, in all societies, death is depicted as dark, as devilish. In India, they say the messenger of death is very ugly, dark, black, and comes sitting on a very big, ugly buffalo. This is the ordinary attitude. These people missed. They have not been able to know all the dimensions of life. They have not been able to touch the depth of life, and they have not been able to fly to the height of life. They missed the plenitude. They missed the benediction. Then there is a second type of expression. Poets, philosophers, have sometimes said that death is nothing bad, death is nothing evil, it is just restful, a great rest, like sleep. This is better than the first. At least these people have known something beyond the body, they have known something of the mind. They have not had only food and sex. Their whole life has not been only in eating and reproducing. They have a little sophistication of the soul. They are a little more aristocratic, more cultured. They say death is like great rest. One is tired and one goes into death and rests. It is restful. But they too are far away from the truth. Those who have known life in its deepest core say that death is godliness. Not only a rest, but a resurrection, a new life, a new beginning. A new door opens. When a Sufi mystic, Bayezid, was dying, people who had gathered around him, his disciples, were suddenly surprised, because when the last moment came, his face became radiant, so powerfully radiant. It had such a beautiful aura. Bayezid was a beautiful man, and his disciples had always felt an aura around him, but they had not known anything like this, so radiant. They asked, Bayezid, tell us what has happened to you. What is happening to you? Before you leave us, give us your last message. He opened his eyes and he said, Existence is welcoming me. I am going into its embrace. Goodbye. He closed his eyes. His breathing stopped. But at the moment his breathing stopped, there was an explosion of light. The room became full of light, and then the light disappeared. When a person has known the transcendental in himself, death is nothing but a face of existence. Then death has a dance to it. And unless you become capable of celebrating death itself, remember, you have missed life. The whole life is a preparation for this ultimate.